Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday evening here with B'nai Baruch. And today we're going to carry on with our studies as we do on Tuesday. Now, this weekend we've got a Congress coming up. So if you haven't registered, it'll be a good idea to register if you go to Kabbalah.info. And if you want to register, you can certainly register and join the Congress. I think it's pretty much open to everyone who wants to listen. So have a go at registering, and if you're already in B'nai Baruch, or if you're already studying with us, you're probably registered in any case. But if you haven't, it's a good idea to do so. So today what we're going to do is going to prepare ourselves for the Congress. And what I thought would be a good idea is to actually go through the lesson of yesterday, where yesterday's lesson was everything is obtained by the power of prayer. So I've got selected excerpts from the lesson on that topic. And what we're going to do is just go through them, and we'll consider this lesson as a preparation for the Congress coming up on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So let's get smashing. Any questions, you can always shoot them, and we'll do our best. And I do believe there was a question from last week. Last Tuesday, Lyndon asked a question, Lyndon Smith. So let me just answer that question, and we'll start with a clean slate. How do we know that the results we feel from trying to annul are only feeding the ego in pride and making us feel good? How do we know that the results we feel from trying to annul are only feeding the ego in pride and making us feel good? Well, if I feel like I'm above the friends, then that's how it's going to turn out. When I do this, when I do the work, right, how I should feel is, okay, when we're in the spiritual work, there'll be moments when we feel pride. There'll be moments when we feel good about ourselves. These things are inescapable. So these feelings should happen, but I should evaluate them. I should actually evaluate everything that I'm going through, because there is no right or wrong. You can't say, is this a right feeling, or is that a wrong feeling, or is this a right thought, or is that a wrong thought? At the end of the day, most of the times, we get our desires, thoughts, inclinations from the environment. We're moving with the rhythm of the environment. So we're going to have those moments when we feel pride and so forth. But all of these sensations are an opportunity to evaluate myself. So what am I feeling proud about? And also ego. What does the ego mean? If I am more important than my friends, then that's my ego talking. If I value my friends, and if I want to raise them in importance higher than my thoughts for myself, then I'm kind of disconnected from the ego. So it's not too hard to clarify that situation. How can I clarify that situation? By checking how much I want to do something for them. Okay, so how can I check myself in order to see if I want to do something for them or not? So that's it. Do I want to take the time? Do I want to make the effort to do something for the friends? If not, given the circumstances, I could or I can, but I'm not going to, or I won't, then that's your place of scrutiny. There is no other way. Okay, but it's good that you asked. Okay, so last week we had a lesson from the archive, simply because I was not feeling well at all last week. So that's why we had to put a lesson from the recording. Normally I wait until the last minute of the lesson. So just in case I find the strength to come, I wait until the last minute. And last week, there was just no way that was going to happen. So we had a lesson from the archive. So today, though, we're back in action, and hopefully all will be well until the weekend, and we'll have a great Congress on the weekend, and then we'll start fresh on Monday on a new, completely different spiritual level. So let's get smashing. Everything is obtained by the power of prayer. So we're going to go through selected excerpts, and let's start. So this is the first one, Baal HaSulam. It's from letter number 57. Everything small or great is obtained only by the power of prayer. All the labor and work to which we're obliged are only to discover our lack of strength and our lowliness. that we are unfit for anything by our own strength. For then we can pour out a wholehearted prayer before him. We could argue about this, so I can decide that I'm unfit for anything, and why all the labor and exertion? However, there's a natural law that there is none so wise as the experienced. And before one tries to actually do all he can do, he is utterly incapable of arriving at true loveliness to the real extent, as said above. This is why we must toil in holiness and purity, as it is written, whatever you find that your hand can do by your strength, that do. And understand, this is for it is true and deep. I reveal this truth to you only so you would not weaken or give up on mercy, although you do not see anything, for even when the measure of labor is complete, it is the time of prayer. But until then, believe in our sages. I did not labor and found, do not believe. When the measure is full, our prayer will be complete, and the Creator will grant generously, as our sages instructed us. I labored and found, believe. For one is unfit for a prayer prior to this, and the Creator hears a prayer. Well, that's quite nice. It kind of tells us what kind of a mold we need to get ourselves into as we work in spirituality so that we can actually come to that true prayer. So let's read that again. There's a lot here, actually. It's quite nice. If you have any questions, just shoot them through. I'll do my best to answer. Anything small or great is obtained only by the power of prayer. All the labor and work to which we are obliged are only to discover our lack of strength and our lowliness, that we are unfit for anything by our own strength. For then we can pour out a wholehearted prayer before him. So our work should bring us to this situation, right? So if we're working in the group, if we're studying, we're in the morning lessons, we're with the 10, we're trying to connect, we're trying to do everything that the Kabbalists recommend us to do so we can move forward in our spiritual path, right? So we're working on that. And then we should discover what he's writing here. At the end of the day, I should discover that I don't have the strength to do anything. I'm unfit for anything. I don't want anything. I don't want to do anything. It's just this like dead kind of state. And then he's saying only then can you really come out with a decent prayer, a worthwhile, wholehearted prayer. We could argue about this, so I can decide that I'm unfit for anything, and why all the labor and exertion. So a lot of people ask this, actually. If we're already bad, egoists, unfit for the situation, why do we need to go through all this drama called spiritual stuff? Why don't we just attain and get it over and done with? However, that's not how life works because of a natural law in nature. All right? However, there's a natural law that there is none so wise as the experienced. And before one tries to actually do all he can do, he is utterly incapable of arriving at true lowliness to the real extent, as said above. So if I don't do the work, I'm actually never going to know what I really am, right? So by doing the work, I actually begin to discover what I am, what my nature is, what I can do, what I can't do, what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what I like, what I don't like. All these things really come out when I do the work. So if I don't do the work, and if we just get something without really working for it, we're not going to value it. So if somebody gets a free gift, we don't normally value it because, well, you didn't pay for it, you didn't work for it. It's just a gift, end of story. But if we understand that we've toiled a lot in it, and from that toil we came to a lot of discernments, then that becomes my treasure. Because everything that I went through starts to all of a sudden make me mature. It builds me, it gives me a new perspective. It allows me to evaluate myself from different angles. And then I can actually, through the experience, through the process of experiencing it, understanding it, going through it, then I can really say to myself, I'm just not capable of doing this. This is just not going to happen. And then there's something to talk about with the Creator. Until then, I've got nothing to talk about. What's there to talk about? So this is why we must toil in holiness. That is, toil in spirituality and purity in correcting ourselves. As it is written, whatever you find that your hand can do by your strength, do it. So whatever you can, in order to advance in spirituality, it says do it. Whatever you can, just do it. And understand this, for it is true and deep. So as long as you do the best you can, the maximum you can, you should come to a discernment where you begin to understand it. You know, there's just no way you're going to be able to change your own nature. There's no way you even want to change your own nature. So all of these things should come about. And then that should, after a while, it should begin to hurt. And then we'll talk about our prayer. So then it says, I revealed this truth to you only so you would not weaken or give up on mercy. Why is he telling that to his students? Because a lot of people, they come to the wisdom of Kabbalah, they work for a little bit, and then they leave, right? Because they want things to happen just like that. But in life, things don't happen just like that, do they? Things take a long time. By the time we grow up, we understand what's going on with life. We're what, 25, 30, 35? I still know a lot of people in their 40s, they still haven't got a clue about what they want to do with their lives. What can you do, right? So things take time. So Baal Islam is saying, listen, just carry on working. Don't despair. Although you do not see anything, for even when the measure of labor is complete, it is the time of prayer. But until then, believe in our sages. I did not labor and found, do not believe. When the measure is full, your prayer will be complete and the Creator will grant generously. As our sages instructed us, I labored and found, believe. For one is unfit for a prayer prior to this, and the Creator hears a prayer. So unless we give it all we got, then a prayer is not able to come out of us. So in order for us to build that prayer, we have to constantly work. We need to be on top of our game and, let the Creator do what he needs to do. Okay, so let's read the other one. Any questions? No questions. All righty. So let's keep moving forward. Excerpt number 2. This is from Rabash. We ask the Creator to give us the strength so we can perform all our actions for you, meaning for the sake of the Creator. Otherwise, meaning, if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for our own benefit. That is, if not, meaning if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for ourselves, for our own benefit. For we are powerless to overcome our will to receive. Therefore, help us be able to work for you. Hence, you must help us. This is called do for your sake, meaning do this, give us the power of the desire to bestow. Otherwise, we are doomed. We will remain in the will to receive for our own sake. Once again, let's do that again. Let's read that again. We ask the Creator to give us the strength so we can perform all our actions for you, meaning for the sake of the Creator. Otherwise, meaning if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for our own benefit. That is, if not, meaning if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for ourselves, for our own benefit, for we are powerless to overcome our will to receive. Therefore, help us be able to work for you. Hence, you must help us. This is called do for your sake, meaning do this, Give us the power of the desire to bestow. Otherwise, we are doomed. We will remain in the will to receive for our own sake. So as you can see, once again, this is how a person should feel after he's done some good work or after she's done some good work, right? So the study, the work, everything that I'm doing, including, all the activities that we have. So I'm doing all of that. I'm really working on it. It's like crunching the numbers all the time, doing the work. And after that, I should come to this state that unless the Creator changes my nature, unless he gives me a second nature, the nature of bestowal, that's it, I'm dead, gone, okay? And that's the sensation. So it says either, give us the power to bestow, or let's just end this game right here and right now. Once again, a person needs to really work hard for this kind of sensation to happen. Our ego won't let us feel like that's the end for a long time. So a person really needs to exert, give his max, and accordingly, he'll come to that sensation. All of these things that Baal Stam and Rabash are writing, they're sensations which we should be going through. It's not a mental exercise. It's not an intellectual thought process or some kind of assumption that, we should be thinking like this or thinking like that. This is the state of a person who's worked a lot and has come to the conclusion that either the Creator is going to help us or he needs to help us, or, that's it, I've got nothing else to do. I'm just out of the game. Number 3. This is again from Rabash. A prayer is work in the heart. That is, since the root of man's heart is the will to receive, and he needs the opposite, meaning that it will work only to bestow and not receive, it follows that he has a lot of work in inverting it. And since this is against nature, he must pray to the Creator to help him come out of his nature and enter what is discerned as above nature. Now let's read again. A prayer is work in the heart. That is, since the root of man's heart is the will to receive, and he needs the opposite, meaning that it will work only to bestow and not to receive, it follows that he has a lot of work in inverting it. And since this is against nature, he must pray to the Creator to help him come out of his nature and enter what is discerned as above nature. So as you can see, once again, in order for us to even ask the Creator for help, it's not like a normal person out there on the street going to some kind of wherever they pray, or just sitting on their bed or praying or whatever. A prayer is not like that. It doesn't happen like that. It's something you got to build out. So from within the sensations you go through while you're in this wisdom, studying and trying to apply it practically, through all the sensations and the feelings you go through, you should come to a state where your heart should be doing the talking instead of your mouth. So that's where we should get to. So accordingly, this prayer, how he says a prayer is work in the heart, it means that we have to do everything we can to realize and understand there's nothing we can do to change our own nature. So if the Creator is going to do his job, you better do it now, he's saying. The reason it's hard for us to do that is because we're always working against our nature. Because our nature is the will to receive. We want to have fun, we want to have all our desires fulfilled, we want to run around, want to own the planet. And life doesn't work like that, as you can see, because, everybody dies, so nobody's going to keep this planet. And because of that, what needs to happen is in our work, we're going against our nature, against our will to receive. So this work is a bit of a drama. It gets, it gives a person all kinds of discernments, like for the path, against the path. You get tired, frustrated, stressed out, all kinds of things you go through. And all of these are necessary, and they're good actually, because without life's dramas, we don't mature up. So life is actually, by bringing us all kinds of discernments on the path, giving us that maturity. It's like that fruit ripening on the tree. So as we mature and we mature and we mature through the work, we begin to identify what we really need to ask for. So the whole process that person goes through in the wisdom of Kabbalah is to actually clarify for oneself, how he's going to attain something that he wants. What does he want, and how he's going to attain it, what he needs to do about it, and after everything he's done, what's the outcome? So what are the possibilities of this person really, achieving it or not achieving it, and what does this person have to do? So in any case, after working all that time, a person just comes to the discernment that we need a force from outside here, some kind of a miracle, you can call it, because we can't change our own nature. We didn't create ourselves. So at this point, what could happen is only the Creator can help the person. Okie dokie. So let's get smashing again. Okay. Let's carry on reading with item number 4. The most important is the prayer. That is, one must pray to the Creator to help him go above reason, meaning that the work should be with gladness, as though he has already been rewarded with the reason of Kedusha, and what joy he would feel then. Likewise, he should ask the Creator to give him his power, to give him this power, so he can go above the reason of the body. In other words, although the body does not agree to this work in order to bestow, he asks the Creator to be able to work with gladness, as is suitable for one who serves a great king. He does not ask the Creator to show the greatness of the Creator, and then he will work gladly. Rather, he wants the Creator to give him joy in the work of above reason, that it will be as important to a person as if he already has reason. Excerpt number 5. He must pray to the Creator to help him, so he can go in the work with his eyes shut, and will not need anything, and will be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator, despite the resistance of the body to this. That is, he does not tell the Creator how he should help him. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. But since he cannot overcome his body, he asks the Creator to help him win the war against the inclination, since he understands his lowliness. Let's read that one again. That's nice. That was number 5. He must pray to the Creator to help him, so he can go in the work with his eyes shut, and will not need anything, and will be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator, despite the resistance of the body to this. That is, he does not tell the Creator how he should help him. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. But since he cannot overcome his body, he asks the Creator to help him win the war against the inclination, since he understands his lowliness. Once again, look, every time he's turning to the Creator in these excerpts, he's turning from an understanding. He's understanding that he can't do it. He understands that he is lowly. He understands that he can't manage it. He doesn't have the strength. He doesn't have the ability. He's got nothing. So as you can see, every time he's turning to the Creator, it's because of this inner understanding that there's nothing he can do. And only then he's turning to the Creator. Item number 6. Okay, any questions there? No? Okay, we've got no questions. That's fine, actually. Let's carry on reading. This is from Baal Islam's Shemati article, number 5. Lishma is an awakening from above. That's the article. And why do we need an awakening from below? So Shemati number 5, an excerpt from there. Our sages said, it is not for you to complete the work, and you're not free to idle away from it. This means that one must give the awakening from below, since this is regarded as a prayer. A prayer is considered a deficiency, and without a deficiency, there's no filling. Hence, when one has a need for lishma, the filling comes from above, and the answer to the prayer comes from above. Meaning, he receives fulfillment from his lack. It follows that the need for man's work in order to receive the lishma from the Creator is only in the form of a lack and a kli. Yet, one can never obtain the filling by himself. It is rather a gift from the Creator. Once again, let's read this one. This is nice as well. Our sages said, it is not for you to complete the work, and you are not free to idle away from it. This means that one must give the awakening from below, since this is regarded as a prayer. So it doesn't matter what we feel on the path. You just stick it out, right? You just stay on there. That's it. No getting out kind of thing. How are you going to attain anything if you keep giving up as well? This is like how it is in corporal reality as well. So imagine all those people who are really successful in life. How would they be successful if they just gave up? You know, every time they felt it was difficult, and imagine those people giving up every time they felt bad about it. They'd never get anywhere. So we wouldn't have any successful people if we didn't have this kind of character in society that no matter what happens, they want to overcome it. So we should also want to overcome all kinds of difficulties in life that are just, that are just kind of like swaying us off the path. So we have to be careful about these things, not to leave the path, and we carry on studying. A prayer is considered a deficiency, and without a deficiency, there's no feeling. So within me, I need to feel that there's something lacking. Hence, when one has a need for lishma, the feeling comes from above. And the answer to the prayer comes from above, meaning he receives fulfillment for his lack. It follows that the need for man's work in order to receive the lishma from the Creator is only in the form of a lack and a vessel. Yet, one can never obtain the filling by himself. It's rather a gift from the Creator. Once again, okay? So the person's working, and the Creator is finishing the job after the person's demand from the Creator. So the person's work should build inside our heart this vessel where the Creator can kind of be felt. And then beyond that, it's the Creator's job. Item number 7. Again, this is from Shemati. The prayer must be a complete prayer. from the bottom of the heart. This means that one knows 100% that there is no one in the world who can help him but the Creator himself. Yet, how does one know this? That no one will help him but the Creator himself. One can acquire that awareness precisely if he has exerted all the powers at his disposal and it did not help him. Thus, one must do every possible thing in the world to attain for the sake of the Creator. Then one can pray from the bottom of the heart, and then the Creator hears his prayer. Okay, excerpt number 8. This is from Rabash. It is upon a person to pray each day that the Creator will open his eyes, so he will recognize the greatness and importance of the Creator. So he has fuel to labor with the aim to bestow. There are 2 discernments to make in this. 1, to have a desire to bestow contentment upon his Maker, that this will be his only aspiration. 2, to do things with the aim that the actions will bring him a desire to do things in order to please the Creator. In other words, he must work and toil extensively to obtain light and vessel. Light means that he received from the Creator a desire where he craves all day to bring contentment to the Creator. A kli is a desire, meaning that he wants to bestow upon the Creator. Those 2 he should receive from the Creator, meaning both the light and the kli. So as you can see, we're getting everything from the Creator. All we have to do is ask based upon the correct work that we go through so that a prayer could be built in our hearts. At the moment the person builds that with the help of the light, the help of the Creator, then he's answered immediately. Okay. Let's read a bit more. This is excerpt number 9. We should learn this trade before we enter the king's palace, meaning muster power and might to stand as a pillar of iron until we elicit the desire from the Creator. As it is written, take no rest. Although the Creator seems silent and unresponsive, let it not cross your minds to be silent too. Take no rest. This is not what the Creator intended by his silence, but rather to give you power to stand afterwards in the king's palace. Then you have no blemish. That is why, and give him no rest. So we must always be pretty much on the work. We must always be on demand, demanding from the Creator. What are we going to demand? Well, whatever we feel is the right thing to demand at that moment. Okay, just like kids don't know what they demand all the time, so they demand silly things. From our perspective, it's silly, but from the kids' perspective, it's not silly, right? So whatever we feel is the right thing to ask the Creator at that time, we should always be asking. Always be asking. Okay. So there's also a little drama here. Although the Creator seems silent and unresponsive, this is also something a lot of friends complain about. They say, listen, we're studying for years now, and the Creator is nowhere to be found. Where is this guy? So it's like there's no reaction, there's no response from the Creator. And this causes a lot of people to fall off the bandwagon. But we can't really study with the expectation that the Creator is going to do something based upon my demand. Why? Because then that defeats the whole purpose of going above your ego. Otherwise, I'm doing the work in order to receive something. So what we want to do is do the work as best we can to come to the understanding that we can't do anything, we can't get anything done, and then turn to the Creator for Him to change us only for the purpose of us being able to bestow to the Creator. So let's come to excerpt number 10. We rush our pleas above, knock by knock, tirelessly, endlessly, and do not weaken at all when He does not answer us. We believe He hears our prayer, but waits for a time when we have the vessels to receive the faithful bounty. And then He will receive a reply, and then we will receive a reply to each and every prayer at once, since the hand of the Lord will not be short, God forbid. So all we have to do is just keep moving forward, pushing forward a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then that should bring us to the desired state of actually becoming a vessel for what the Creator wants to give us. Let's read a little bit more. All right, no questions, yeah? Okay. Item number 11. There's no light without a kli, no filling without a lack. First, one needs to obtain a deficiency. That is, he must feel that he is deficient of this kli called desire to bestow. And concerning feeling, it is impossible to feel any lack if one does not know what he is losing by not having the kli called desire to bestow. For this reason, man must introspect on what causes him not to have the desire to bestow. To the extent of the loss, he feels sorrow and suffering. When he has the real lack, meaning when he can pray to the Creator from the bottom of the heart, but not having the strength to be able to work for the sake of the Creator, then when he has the kli, meaning the real lack, this is the time when his prayer is answered. And he receives assistance from above. It is, as our sages said, he who comes to purify is aided. Okay, let's read a little bit more. This is excerpt number 12 from Rabash. The only way to obtain a deficiency that we're lacking the desire to bestow is by prayer, which is a medium between man and the deficiency. That is, one prays for the Creator to give him something for which he has no deficiency, that he will lack it. It follows that the kli that is called deficiency is a deficiency with respect to the feeling, meaning that he does not feel its lack. And the prayer is that the Creator will give him the light, which is the filling of his lack. It therefore follows that the filling is a lack. Thus, he has no other choice but to pray to the Creator to give him a deficiency. And this is what connects the kli with the light. Right here. Okay, so we've got excerpt number 13. So let's read this one and call it a night. He must perform every act of Torah and Mitzvot in order to bring himself into the aim to bestow. Afterwards, when he has a complete understanding of how much he needs to engage in order to bestow, then he feels pain and suffering at not having this force. Then it is considered that he already has something for which to pray, for work in the heart, since the heart feels what it needs. For such a prayer comes the answer to the prayer. This means that he's given this strength from above, so he will be able to aim in order to bestow. For then he already has the Kli and the light. However, what can one do if after all the efforts he has made, he still does not feel the lack of not being able to bestow as pain and suffering? The solution is to ask the Creator to give him the Kli called a lack from not feeling. And that he is unconscious without any pain from being unable to bestow. Well, that's a pretty powerful excerpt. So as you can see, all these sensations, feelings, discerns, they're all what we should be going through in order to turn to the Creator so that he can change our egoistic nature into one that of bestowal. Right, yeah. So dear friends, let's call it a night. And hopefully I'll see you guys at the Congress. Okay, so we've got Congress Saturday, Sunday. Once again, if you haven't registered, it'll be a good idea to do so. And then you'll be able to follow all the lessons, integrate with the group. And the more you integrate with people who are studying spirituality, then the more you're actually going to find the environment as supporting you and kind of like harnessing you into that spiritual growth. All right, in the interim, have a good one. And God willing, we'll see each other again on Tuesday. All the best. Bye-bye.